is good? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and talking about the 5 new duos added to NBA 2K24 MyTEAM today. Going over and talking about if they are worth it for you to pick up for you and your specific squad as well. Now, here's the deal, guys. I mean, there are some decent duos here like Tim Duncan, Kawhi, even Detlef Gary. I like JR. I'm not a big JR just fan in my team, but you also see Petrie as well as Bill Walton. So we're going to be going over and talking about each and every one of them as we dive into the Tim Duncan Kawhi duo. If you're new to the channel, man, smash that subscribe button. We are on the road towards 130,000 subscribers. So he gets Hall of Fame brick wall. That's a good badge. Rebounding goes up, block goes up. The big thing for me is his 3-ball doesn't go up. He's got a 48 3-ball, and I was like, okay, maybe the duo is going to be what makes Tim Duncan able to shoot. It's not. The duo definitely is helpful to Tim Duncan. I just don't love it. Kawhi gets barely better. I mean, Hall of Fame interceptor, off-ball pest, workhorse, badge-wise, gets a ton better. The problem for me is when I look up and down Kawhi's stats, like there's just nothing here that really, sticks out to me. And again, if you want to, go do this, do what you got to do. But there's nothing stat-wise that really is crazy to me. The big thing for Kawhi, again, is his badges. He gets a ton better badge-wise. And there's no arguing that, right? I can't sit here and say, yeah, Ty, he barely gets better. No, badge-wise, he gets a ton better, including a couple Hall of Famers. So it's the one thing about it with this duo is badge-wise, again, they definitely do improve quite a bit with both Tim Duncan, obviously, and Kawhi Leonard. Next up, guys, Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf. For Gary Payton, again, badge-wise is the big thing. Gets 11 on gold. Stat-wise, there's nothing here to really look at. I mean, passing accuracy goes up a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. But again, there's just not a whole lot going on in the statistics department. You look at the upgraded badges, unpluckable, bailout. I mean, there are a couple of decent badges in there that do get upgraded. For Detlef Schrempf, his duo doesn't even show anything yet on 2K database. So we can't see how good Detlef really becomes. All I'm going to say, it's not worth running Detlef. Because Gary hardly gets better. So it's the one thing I would say. Gary's the better option there, and he barely does get better. For JR as well as Melo, for J.R. Smith, +5 in the 3-ball. That's huge. +5 in the 3-ball. Gets high catch and shoot, guard up, and dead eye, as well as +3 lateral quickness. Nah, this duo for J.R. Smith is absolutely fantastic. I'm telling you guys what you need to know. This duo helps J.R. Smith a ton. Now, does that mean this duo is worth running J.R. Smith? That's totally up to you. I'm not a big J.R. Smith fan, so I highly doubt it. For Carmelo Anthony, gets the perimeter defense up 7, blinders goes up to Hall of Fame, gets vice grip. And you guys can just see, badge-wise, again, 2K database doesn't have them all, but does make him quite a bit better in general. So, is this duo worth running? Again, if you like J.R. Smith and run Melo, maybe. I'm not that high on J.R. Smith in general. And so for me personally, it's not going to make me run either of the cards. But if you have Melo, or if you're going to get Melo and have J.R. Smith, maybe at least worth trying it out. For Petrie as well as Bill Walton. For Petrie, 3-ball goes up, speed goes up, perimeter, lateral quickness goes up. You can't ask for a much better duo out of Petrie. The one thing is, I don't necessarily love the Dwayne Wade base this year, so I'm not going to be super high on it. But again, perimeter, lateral quickness, speed with ball, 3-ball, speed, acceleration, all go up. As far as a duo for a point guard, what more can you ask for? Honestly, not much. That duo is absolutely elite when it comes down to an upgrade for a point guard. I'm never going to complain about it. Now, for Bill Walton, here's where the problem lies, right? He still can't shoot. I know his interior goes up, his lateral quickness goes up, badge-wise gets a little better. But is it a good enough upgrade to run him? That's ultimately what it comes down to. And for me personally, I don't think it is. If you want to run Bill Walton, do what you got to do. But I don't think it's worth it. So far, Tim Duncan Kawhi duo, probably maybe the best we've seen. JR and Melo have been good. The Bill Walton one is troll. Detlef isn't worth running because Gary Payton hardly gets upgraded either. Now we see our last duo today, okay? And that is the Donyell Marshall as well as Latrell Sprewell duo. This one, again, you have to have Latrell Sprewell, who's a Ruby, for it to even work. And for Latrell Sprewell, sure, the speed goes up, perimeter goes up, interior. Defensively, he just gets a lot better. Okay, gets Hall of Fame challenger and clamps as well. And so for Latrell Sprewell, yes, this duo is big time. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat things. If you want to run this duo again for Latrell Sprewell, it helps him out a ton. For Donyell Marshall, he needs a big improvement on the defensive end of the court, and on the interior, he gets that. Okay, plus 14 interior. So if you do want to run him at the power forward position, is going to ultimately make him better. Rebounding obviously gets better as well. Three ball doesn't go up. I would have liked to see that go up at least a little bit. Is it a duo that's worth running? No. So how would I rank these duos? That's a question a lot of people probably are wondering. Ty, okay, so you basically said that you didn't love any of these duos. How would I rank them? Okay, so here's the problem with ranking them. I want to sit up here and say Tim Duncan and Kawhi is the most worth it to run, but I don't want you guys going and locking in Tim Duncan to run that because it's not ultimately worth running. So, I mean, honestly, guys, here's what I would recommend with duos, okay? None of these duos are worth buying. So, for example, is Melo worth buying to run with J.R. Smith? No. Okay. Is Tim Duncan worth running buying to run with Kawhi? No. If you buy them and then want to run them, that's a different story. Okay. Now, the one thing I would focus on here is salary cap, right? And so if you get Detlef, Gary Payton's absolutely elite at the point guard position. Detlef can knock down shots. So in salary cap, this duo might be worth it, might be absolutely incredible. That's kind of the mindset you got to have with these duos, because otherwise, I mean, it's just basically impossible. It's basically impossible to sort through them, talk about, which one I personally like more. Is it worth running? You just got to honestly use them in modes that you can have success with them. And that a lot of times is going to be the salary cap mode, because otherwise, why would you run like a Gary Payton Detlef in Unlimited? Why would you run Donyell, Marshall, Latrell, Sprewell? You're not going to run them unless you get a big time boost in salary cap. And so that's what I would focus on. Detlef, Gary in salary cap, as well as Donyell, Marshall, Latrell, Sprewell. That's really where I think you are going to be rewarded for running these types of duos. Because, I mean, there's no duo here that I personally think is making the best squad in the game. And honestly, there's not a card here outside of maybe Tim Duncan as that third center behind Shaq and Wilt that makes the best center in the game. But even then, I'll take Chris Bosh over him every day of the week. So with that, that's not even, true either. So that's just kind of how I would break these things down. Duos are, they're duos, man. They are what they are. The only time I ever use duos is in salary cap too. So I'm just kind of speaking my truth to you guys. If you want to run duos, salary cap is going to be your best kind of way to go about doing that. And you just got to find stuff that does give you an advantage in the salary cap mode. And some of these duos up here probably will be able to help you do that. That's going to wrap it up for our duo video. Am I like super stoked about the duos? No, they're fine. You can run them. You can have some success with them. But there's not like a duo here that I just think is off the charts good. Like there's not a duo here that I even think is worth you guys even entertaining. Again, if you find a duo in salary cap, that would be the only way to go about approaching using any of these duos. Drop a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.